open our first home football game since the SWAC championship game in 2019. Good to be back at home. Good to have a win and get back in the win column. Glad you can join us however way you might be checking it out here on 91.7 WPRL, the flagship station of the Braves Sports Radio Network, WMIS WTYJ in Natchez, natchezradio.com. You can give us a call, 601-877-6595, 601-877-6595. You can text a question, 601-348-7254. And you can tweet a question. I'm on Twitter, Tall Man Radio. I'm also on Facebook, Charles Edmond. Glad you can join us here on this Monday. Got some weather to deal with here as we've got another tropical system headed our way. And rain starting right now and over the next few days as we get ready for South Alabama coming up. A team that's 2-0, a team that's going to throw the ball all over the yard. We've dealt with two primary running teams the first couple of games, but now we're going to see a team that's going to sling it all over the place. How will we defend that? We'll talk about that a little bit later. So give us a call, join the conversation, join the Fred McNair radio show here on this Monday night, here on Facebook, as well as WPRL 91.7, WPRL.org, also 97.7 FM, WMIS 1240 AM, WTYJ Fayette Natchez, and natchezradio.com. We'll take a break. We'll come back after this 1 minute timeout. We'll get it started with Braves head football coach Fred McNair. We'll be right back.
COVID-19 has changed how we stomp the yard and feel the beat. How we stroll, how we step, how we show our pride. Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I get it? Is it free?
It's okay to have questions. Now get the facts about COVID-19 vaccines at getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your family.
Back. We are live here on the beautiful campus of Alcorn State University, here on the flagship station of the Braves Sports Radio Network, WPRL and WPRL.org. Glad you can join us here. Charles Edmond with Braves head football coach Fred McNair, the Fred McNair program. Coach Fred McNair and the Braves coming off a big win over Northwestern State, the first meeting between these two teams on the football field since 1983. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Charles. It was a great win, just for the morale of the players and the coaching staff that put together a good game plan for this good Northwestern football team. I think Brad Laird did a great job with that program down there at Northwestern, and bringing in a good football club to compete.
This was the first meeting between these two teams since 1983. A couple of meetings in that era. This win was a big win for a lot of different reasons. Number one, getting off the schneid, getting off the deck, getting a win. But, for me, and, being here as long as I've been here, I've been a part of two FCS playoff appearances. Now, back in the day, it was 1AA, as you know. Now it's the FCS, Football Championship Subdivision. A lot of folks on the FCS Fan Nation on Facebook and Twitter saying, all right, Alcorn, here you go. SWAC champs, Celebration Bowl appearance. Let's see how we do. Let's see how you guys do against a quality FCS team. And this team that we saw on Saturday, Northwestern State, ran for 261 yards against a quality North Texas team. And through the first half, it was kind of nip and tuck. They fumbled the ball at the 11-yard line of North Texas. That could have changed momentum. So this was a quality team that we were facing.
And it was, Charles. And if you look at the stats where they rushed so well against other teams and coming in to play us, and I think that Coach Thornton and his staff did a great job of hovering around Scooter Adams to get him down to the turf. He had 18 carries for 63 yards. And, just for those guys to be able to contain that rushing game that Northwestern presented says a lot about what this conference can do outside of the conference as far as playing the FCS teams. And We talked about it a little bit this morning on the SWAC conference call this morning about the SWAC competing against the out of conference teams such as the FBS and the FCS Power 5 teams. So just to say a lot about what we do in this conference, man, and it's less to say about not only what we do in this conference, but here at Alcorn as a coaching staff to put on a great product, put on a great brand of football against a great football program as in Northwestern State. So my hat's off to these young men that played such a outpouring game, and they gave up every fiber of their body to compete to get this outcome.
It was a chess match. It was nip and tuck, no question about it. So let's look at some of these first quarter highlights. It was kind of slow going there for the first part of the first quarter. We were able to score first, Coach, on a Christopher Thompson 40-yard field goal with 8:56 left. Talk about trying to feel this team out defensively. What was the challenge as you saw this defensive unit?
They did a whole lot of different stuff we haven't been used to seeing in the secondary with the rotation of the safeties and what they do present to us as far as pressure-wise. But I think that once we filled them out, we got a kind of a peg on what they were going to do to us. As far as the second half goes, we came out with a little more spark. I think that Coach Ratton did an excellent job of play calling, which he's a very outstanding offensive coordinator. And just to get the idea of what they was going to present the second half, kind of stayed with it, and we kind of worked through things as far as the play call.
We scored first on a 12-play, 68-yard drive. We led 3-0. Talk about Thompson and the job he's done kicking field goals. He had a miss against North Carolina Central, but comes right back here at home with a 40-yarder.
Just the idea of trusting the kicker, Charles, and what he can do. He's done a great job throughout the course of camp and just kicking the ball and putting it in place. I think we still got to work on some of his ball placement where we need the ball on kickoff, and he knows that. But he did an excellent job of getting the kick up and getting it through the great operation. Coach Ratton did a great job of protecting the kick, and the operation kick was good. So a good start for us.
And then Northwestern State late in the first quarter came back. Caleb Fletcher, an 18-yard pass to Price, and it was a 75-yard drive taking up 2:53 on the clock. Coach, talk a little bit about that.
One of the pass play was a breakdown in coverage, and that gave a little spark there. So unable to get him down and not allow him to score. But the defense bounced back after that. Played a little stingier. Up front, they put a lot of pressure on him. So give us the opportunity to get some sacks and kind of break up in coverage in the back end.
It was 7-3. He actually caught that, Coach, with one hand.
They did. Very, very, very impressive, Charles.
Yeah, that was a good one-handed catch there. 7-3. He caught it with the left hand as well. Did you think there was some contact there?
Well, I mean, it probably was a little bit, Charles.
Yeah.
But we can't make those calls, and my job is to administrate the game as well as I can to manage it, and just stay on the officials as much as I can to get some consistency out of them. So I think we did a great job of doing that and making sure that thing was right. I mean, you look at the penalties. We was 4 for 25 yards, and they were 8 for 70. So. We cut down on our mistakes since the first ball games. That's a big improvement for us.
7-3, our score at the end of the first quarter. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines here. We had some firm phone line quirks a couple of weeks back, and let's see if we got that straightened out here. I think JJ's on the line. JJ, good evening. Are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, we got it going. JJ, good to hear your voice. Good evening. How are you?
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good, man, I guess,
All I can say is welcome to Mobile.
We so appreciate it, man. We praise you. So appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be coming down there too.
I was at the first game, and now I'm at the third game. So I'm, trying to make it a little consistent.
I tell you what, we appreciate every opportunity that you get to show up, man.
I just like what you're doing, and I like this team. I know we're a little young up front, but we're getting a little better.
That's one thing I told the guys at halftime. We don't make excuses. We find solutions.
Oh, I'm sorry, Coach.
You good?
Well, JJ, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. For you, tall man,
Okay.
what is the MEAC going to do?
In terms of
The new teams that are going to come in.
it's going to come into the MEAC, or the teams from the MEAC
Yes, sir.
coming into the SWAC. Based on what
The new teams that's going to come into the MEAC.
I don't have any idea at this point. The people that I've talked to on that side of it, they are kind of quiet-lipped about it, and I can understand that. I mean, when North Carolina A&T went to the Big South from the MEAC, it was quiet until it actually happened, until the presidents approved it and it got out. So I think that because of the privacy of it all, once stuff getting out, I don't have any idea in terms of who's going to join the MEAC. I really don't have any clue.
Okay. Well, I will see y'all Saturday, and I'm happy. Good luck.
All right, JJ, thank you. We appreciate you calling in. All right, we'll take a break right here. Our producer, Jamario Brooks. You can call in 601-877-6595. Coach, that tells us that we got our phone line issues fixed. I was holding my breath just trying to go through all the, as they say in football, all the checks and the progressions. I was trying to go through all of that, and it looks like it worked out. So give us a call, 601-877-6595. And give us a tweet if you would like. I'm on Twitter, Tallman Radio, and a text 601-348-7254. We will take a timeout here. We will be right back after this.
You don't fight fair, so we'll just fight harder.
We didn't come here to play around.
You're going down.
Honestly, I hate you.
I'm stronger than you.
I'm more determined than you.
We're going to beat you, cancer.
Because the American Cancer Society
is on our team.
And together, we're unstoppable.
My name is John Calipari.
I'm Roy Williams.
I'm Jim Boeheim.
I'm Tubby Smith.
And I'm a coach versus cancer.
Coach Fred McNair on the Fred McNair program. No scoring in the second quarter, Coach, so we go into halftime 7-3. Give us your thoughts on the first half.
I thought we played decent the first half, Charles, and I thought we missed some opportunities there on some big plays coming up in that first half. Just going into halftime with a 7-3 deficit. Kept the game close. I think the defense did a great job of making stops when they had to. The first half and just being able to compete, going into halftime and making sure the guys understand we just got to come out and play 30 more minutes of football. And, the pregame speech was we don't make excuses, we find solutions. And I think that's what we did as a coaching staff, found a way to win this ball game in the second half.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Marquise joining us, as always. Good evening, Marquise. How are you?
How you doing, Charles?
Doing well.
How you doing, Coach Floyd?
All right, Marquise, how you doing, man?
Yeah, man. I'm glad y'all won that game.
Yes, sir. I am too, Marquise.
Yeah, and I know we in the West Division.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and that was a good game y'all had in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, we just couldn't quite pull that one out, Marquise, and we kind of try to get better the next 2 weeks to get ready for this home game. So I think that's what we did. We got better throughout the process of the opening week, lead up into this game Saturday. And so the kids was up for the challenge, and we got better.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Marquise, do you have a question?
Yes. Are we still gonna be number one in the SWAC West?
I don't know right now, Marquise. We haven't played any SWAC games yet, and hopefully our team is up for the challenge to be that number one spot in the West, Marquise. That's where the ultimate goal is, and that's where our challenge is going to come from. So we just got to be the best in the West once we go and start playing in the conference.
All right, Marquise. Thank you very much. We got some other calls coming in. We appreciate you calling in, okay?
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. All right, let's get into the third quarter, Coach. In that third quarter, another field goal by Thompson of 24 yards. And at that point, it was, when you look at the game, it was 10-3 and then 10-6. We had a situation, Coach, in the second half in which we had Northwestern backed up in a punting situation, and we were called for 2 number 10s on the field. Cedric Tillman reported that, and some people were asking about it and questioning it. Explain how that all went down.
Cedric wasn't supposed to say that. He wasn't supposed to say that. But no, that was my coaching fault there. We had a defensive back end with a number 10 on, and we had to put the return guy, which is number 10 as well. And I wasn't aware that we had the defensive back end on that play, and that was totally my mistake to do something that hurt us to give them a first down. So, in the future, we got a lot of kids out this time, and we have to do double numbers, defense and offense. And that's a good thing, having so many kids out for this year. So we had to double the numbers up. So we had 2 number 10s on the field, and that gave him a 5-yard penalty for first down. So my mistake on that part, not just really knowing that the defensive back was in with the number 10 on.
So you can have 2 duplicate numbers, but they can't be on the field at the same time.
That's exactly right, Charles. And me just not my wig's not on right. So I'm doing a whole lot of stuff on the sideline and not recognizing that. So that was my total deal. And what we did, we went punt safe. And punt safe, the defense stays on. If we go punt return, then number 10, the D-back wouldn't be on the field. So that was my total screw up there, leaving them on the field. So I take the blame for that one. But I'm just glad that the defense stepped up and continued to make stops during the course of that series.
10-3, our score going into the fourth quarter. Another call coming in. A lot to talk about here on the Fred McNair program. Let's go back to the phone line. Cedric Foster, my first visit with Cedric Foster down in Tallahassee. Is that where you are, Cedric?
Yeah, that's where I am. And, hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Cedric.
Yeah. I think you answered one of my questions about the mishap with the two guys with number 10 on. Believe me, I think my neighbors in Tallahassee heard me.
You're exactly right.
But Coach, I'm gonna get a couple of people. There's a few Alkanites in Tallahassee, so me and the wife, because my wife is a graduate from Auburn, and we're gonna get on I-10 and head on to Mobile for this big game. But Coach, I do want to ask you first. I want to give some kudos to the defense. They hung in there. Defensive coordinator Cedric, boy, I'm telling you, he did a fantastic job. And because they could have just went down, because sometimes when the offense don't click and the defense, sometimes they just say, "Well, man, they ain't playing hard enough." But I want to give the defense some kudos. But Coach, I do want to ask you on that last play, that one of those plays, I think it was a bomb. I couldn't see it, but I could listen to it. Looked like it was about like a 40-yarder. Did you call that, Coach?
No, the offensive coordinator called that one. I leave the play call up to him. And what I try to do, I try to manage the game the best way I can. And if they need help in some situations, they ask for my opinion. But most of the time, these guys are point on. The defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator, they're point on for what they see and what their coach during the week of practice. So my job is just to oversee those guys and making sure those guys got what they need to be successful as coordinators and as staff. So, I just overlook that, and when those guys make decisions, I'm behind them 100%, and they know that. So I stick behind those guys in every aspect of the game. So in case they need a timeout, I'm there to give them a timeout. So, but those guys, they work diligently together with this football program and this team. It's a bend don't break, and I promise you, defense don't point a finger at the offense, and offense don't point a finger at defense. These guys play together as a team, and a special team as well. So when stuff like that happens, it's gonna happen. One group playing lights out, and the other one kind of sputtering a little bit. But these guys, they don't point fingers. They get together and they rally behind each other. So that's one thing I like about this program and what we instill in these young men to do during the course of a football game. We don't point fingers. We cheer each other on, and we get together and we rally behind each other.
Well, okay then, Coach. That's a great thing there. Well, boy, I'm gonna tell you the truth. That was the offensive coordinator. That was a gutsy call because, me, I was thinking. I said, okay, they're gonna get first downs and just play ball possession. But when you have that shot, you have to go after it, and you got it. So that was a good win. And the only thing I do want to say this to you, Coach. Tell the guys they can knock off South Alabama. They can do it. If Jacksonville State can knock off Florida State, we can do the same thing too. Okay, Coach.
Exactly right, Cedric.
And go break.
That's right.
All right, Cedric Foster, we appreciate you calling in. It has been a minute since we've heard from Cedric Foster. All right, we're going to take a break here. A lot to talk about here, including that fourth quarter in which the Braves rallied and won it. A big play set it up, and Felix Harper finished it off, and the Braves defense got it done. We'll talk all about the fourth quarter. We appreciate the calls, JJ, as well as Marquise and Cedric Foster. Glad you can join us, however way you might be checking us out, whether it's on Facebook, on social media, on Twitter, and on the radio. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Once you get to Alcorn, it's kind of like there's a place for everybody. I fell in love with the people.
Overall, I love the experience. Whether it's personal, whether it's in education, anywhere you turn, there's always a helping hand.
People just going up and asking you, hey, are you new, are you lost, and taking an interest.
I would tell students if they want to be challenged to learn and grow and be in an environment that is nurturing, in a place where they're not just a number, where people know you by name, then I would tell them to come to Alcorn.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft. To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Back here on the Fred McNair program, glad you can join us, whether on social media, watching and or listening, however way you might be checking us out. As we recap the Northwestern State game, we'll preview South Alabama coming up. Coach, you talked about the two number 10s, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, but they were backed up after that. And I thought from that moment, and maybe just me, but I thought from that moment on, our defense kind of picked it up a little bit. We held them in check, but it seemed like from that, the two number 10s, when that happened, it seemed like things changed and our defense really elevated. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're exactly right, Charles. And it just kind of hurted me because I got that penalty for not knowing those guys was on the field at the same time, and I had to call the defense back out. That's a very important stop and a punt situation. Just for those guys to get back on the field, but. That did not bother those guys one bit, Charles. It seemed like they picked it up after that and did what they had to do to get back off the field. That's our biggest thing we talked about through the course of the week, getting off the field on third downs, and making big plays, and which they did. And my hat's off to those guys and Coach Thornton and their staff for doing such a great job of pulling me out, So and in the course of that game, those guys fought. They strained every fiber of their body to get this win.
Well, it was a nip-and-tuck game going into the fourth quarter. Christopher Thompson's 24-yard field goal made it 10-6. That was a 6-play, 44-yard drive. And then we got the football with about 6 minutes left. Manny Flash Jones. They call him Flash for a reason, Coach. He had a couple of catches, and then he had the biggest catch of the night setting us up. Talk about that play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, just to bounce back off of the previous play that we in the third quarter, I think it was the third quarter, we had a catch and a run, and he fumbled the ball. Just for him to bounce back off that charge and go down the field and make this big catch, the biggest catch of the night, I call it, and put us in position to get down in the red zone and get a score out of that. That was a big catch for him.
And then with that catch, that set it up. And then Felix Harper, it was tough sledding in there. I mean, 3rd and goal from the 1 or 2, and Felix Harper found a seam.
They did, and that's, like I said, that's a stingy defense, man. They play hard. They play stingy. They don't give up too much. And Felix was able to squeeze through a gap and get in the end zone and to put us up 12-10 with the kick. It was good. Give us 13-10 lead.
That drive started at our 8-yard line with 8 minutes and 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 10 plays, 92 yards, 4:10 time of possession. How many times have we been able to put a long drive together in the fourth quarter, whether to win a game or seal a game at home? We've done that quite a bit, haven't we?
Yes, we have, Charles. And that's you don't want to do that too often. To drive 92 yards with 10 plays, but that just to show you on third downs, and we were making up the big plays. So we was able to stay on the field. Didn't give up a punt and get in and score. And after that, the defense came back and we made a play, made a pick, and sealed the game.
Yeah, and then the defense sealed it up. I was talking during the broadcast. I talked with Cedric Thornton one day a couple of years ago, and I don't know if it's the case now, but I remember him telling me he doesn't even look at the scoreboard. He knows that the defense has to get a stop regardless of what the score is. You all talk a lot. Is that still the case?
I think it is, and this guy, he shoots from the hip, man. He know what he's doing on the defense during the course of the week. I sit there and I watch him, call the defense out in practice and how accurate he is with the plays and just putting the kids in the position to make the plays. Only thing they got to do is go to the spot. He calling the right play. Just go to the spot. It is going to be a pick, or you're going to make a tackle.
Yeah.
That's what I talked to the kids about this morning. Not doing their own thing, doing what you're coached to do. A lot of times, the kids get out of position and try and do their own thing then. But Coach Thornton, he put them in the right position to make plays. And the only thing they got to do is get to the position and make the play.
The defense was rock solid all game long. How would you assess through the first couple of games? We got off to a great start in Atlanta. The first drive we scored. The second drive we marched down the field, missed a field goal. Then the offense kind of, we got a score in the second half against Central, kind of stalled. And then in this game, so you look at our offense, was it more of Northwestern State's defense or not enough of us?
I tell you what, we played good between the 20 and 20, Charles. We just got to make sure we finish the ball game. As far as the offensive wise, we just got to make sure we finish the game inside the red zone. I think we'll get better at that as the year go on. Hopefully, this next ball game against South Alabama, we'll improve on that during the course of this week. That's the biggest thing. The next big game is the next game.
The next game is South Alabama. We'll look at the numbers when we come back. We'll go inside the numbers, offense and defense. And when we will come right back, we'll get to that after this timeout here on the Braves Sports Network.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm going to miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Bottom of the hour. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Braves Sports Network.
WPRL 91.7 FM, broadcasting from the campus of Alcorn State University.
All right, putting our finishing touches on the Northwestern State game. First meeting between these two teams on the football field since 1983. Charles Edmond, Braves head football coach Fred McNair. Coach, we look at the numbers. 326 yards of offense, outgained Northwestern State 326 to 263. You look at running the football, 122 yards on 41 carries. How would you evaluate the running attack minus Anderson, who didn't play on Saturday?
I'll tell you what, and Coach Radden, He does a real good job of coordinate the running game, and we still left a lot out there, Charles. We look at film the next day. There's a lot of stuff we left out there, a lot of yards we left out on the ground in the rushing game. We just got to make sure a lot of stuff is just easy fix stuff. Simple as picking up your feet, running your tracks as a running back, and finding the creases. We see a lot, and we still left a lot out there, Charles. We're gonna put this thing together. When we put it together, it won't be nothing nice for our opponents. So we're just gonna continue to grind and grind it out, Charles, and do what we have to do to win ball game.
Felix Harper, 13 of 23, 204 yards in the game. Some people are concerned about Felix Harper through the first couple of games. They feel like it's not the same Felix Harper that we saw in 2019. Are you concerned?
No, not a bit, Charles. I see Felix every day, and I think he's going whatever this punky in, he'll come out of it. Coach Gray does a great job of coaching him up and getting the quarterbacks to understand the process and the reading concept of the progression and the way they're supposed to find the receiver. But he'll get the right for him, and Felix going to be okay.
Leading the way in the receiver category, Manny Flash Jones, 3 for 74. LaCharles Pringle, 4 for 43. You think teams are kind of really knowing and respecting what he can do the first couple of games? He's made some catches. The first couple of drives against Central, he was all over the place. You think teams kind of honed in on him, trying to get him going a little bit?
Well, that too. That having to do with the quarterback too, with the reading of the coverage and finding an open guy. And I think that Felix has been doing that so far. We still got to work on some things though. But with Charles Pringle, he's gonna get his catches. But Manning Jones, he stepped up and made some big catches as well.
Defensively, Juwan Taylor, 10 tackles. Solomon Wise, 7 tackles. Edgston, 7 tackles. Heron with 6 tackles. How would you evaluate that?
I tell you what, those guys there is pretty good, Charles. I watch these guys work at practice every day, and they full speed, man. And it's a good thing that we're doing some of the things that's gonna make us better as a team. We're doing more good on good now for the fast pace of the game. But that's going to make us better. And these are some outstanding players, along with the other guys on defense, too. Defense does such a great job of swarming to the football, making plays.
You realize how quality of a win this was, playing another team in the FCS, something where we don't do that often. We played the Southeast Louisianas years ago. Back in the day, it was Stephen F., it was Sam Houston, it was Samford, playing those teams on the FCS level. This was a quality team and a quality win.
It was a great, tough team. Like I said, Charlie, these guys was pretty good, defense and offensively, and the things they did. They had a very speedy guy returning kicks, too, so we were able to contain him. We let one kickoff get outside up for one time, but we made some adjustments on the kickoff team and put some guys in there that contained a little bit better than what we had. So making those adjustments was a big difference. And, the ball placement was totally different on the punt. So we did a great job of keeping the ball away from them during the course of the punt. This game he averaged 44.2 yards kick on his punt. So I think Christoph did a great job of kicking the ball where it needed, except for that one time.
So we'll take a break here. We'll clear the decks. We'll be right back. We'll get to some text and some tweets and some phone calls. I think Paul Johnson was holding on, so we'll get to him on the other side of this timeout here on the Braves Sports Network.
Can I get the now bar, please? $1. Have a good one. Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
I can't wait to get back to field trips with my school.
Not having to think about putting on a mask.
I really can't wait to get back to life, really.
I miss all my friends. I miss taking pictures in school.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
COVID-19 vaccines are available, and they're the first step to safely getting back to things we miss most. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines.
91.7 FM.
All right, welcome back to the Fred McNair Radio Show as we put a capper on the game. A big win by the Braves as they take on Northwestern State. We'll turn our attention to South Alabama, we'll get to that coming up in a moment. All right, Coach, there's a lot of chatter, a lot of talk, a lot of discussion over the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. I was on campus first thing this morning. I know y'all practice in the mornings, and the team didn't practice this morning. I didn't see them on the practice field. There's a lot of stuff out there on social media. What can you tell us about what's been happening in the discussion all over the place here over the last several hours?
It has been, Charles. And, the biggest thing is that there's such a heartbreaking thing when you have a meeting in the morning time and you talk about such a great win and moving on to the next game and come to find out you can't practice because you don't have athletic trainers on campus. That's so deflating. That's really unacceptable for me as a football coach, and I'm quite sure that the other coaches feel the same way because they can't practice either. You have to have a certified athletic trainer on campus in the building to do these things, and we didn't have one. And that's such a discouraging thing to me that we're not doing a good enough job to bring in somebody of our own to be an athletic trainer here at Alcorn State University, to call our own trainer. And it's frustrating to me as a coach that we have to go through this stuff every day about a training situation. Married Health, they got trainers that they send down here, but they don't belong to us. Understand that they don't belong to us. Those are Married Health. Fred Wordley, he's a Married Health guy. I mean, he belongs to Married Health. He come and help out here, but he's not one of us. We need our own athletic trainer. Whatever we have to do, Charles, to get our athletic trainer, we have to do it. That is a very vital position. That is a very important position to this university and to this athletic program. Not only football, but throughout the whole sports nation here at Alcorn State University. We have to bring a trainer in here to accommodate Alcorn State. Fred Worthy won't be here until Wednesday. So tomorrow, I'm not promised I'm going to be able to practice tomorrow. And we got a big game that's going to make the university money, and we can't go out, get treatment for the young men and women, and we can't get treatment or rehab on this day and not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. And Charles, this is something that needs to be fixed. This is an administration issue. I could talk about it all the way to I turn blue, but this is an administration issue. This got to be fixed. We talk about, you bring people in, you interview them, but we got to be able to pay these folks, man. We got to be able to pay somebody to be an Alcorn State University athletic trainer, and we don't have one. And that's disheartening. I told the players the reason we weren't going to practice this morning because we didn't have a certified trainer, and you could have heard the room. It was bad. It was a bad feeling for me just to be able to tell those guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing with these players because these guys trust me and understand this coaching staff that we're going to tell them everything that's going on with this program. I don't keep nothing from these kids. These young men deserve, and these young women deserve a whole lot better than what they're getting here. As far as the training, athletic training, and all that, they deserve better. This is disheartening.
And you got a big game coming up, big, like you said, a big win, and your focus is on South Alabama, and it's how tough is this?
It is tough, Charles. It is tough to try to focus in on something that we don't have and something we got to go play. We finna go play a good South Alabama team. It's going to be very physical, and I can't get my players back that's injured because we don't have rehab. We can't get treatment and things of this nature that these young men need and women need to get back to the playing service. It's bad that it has to come out like this, but somebody got to understand that this can't happen. This needs to be taken care of. This is something that we need to take care of like today. Because right now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to practice tomorrow. I don't have a certified trainer here on campus. Like I said, Fred won't be back till Wednesday. And I think that he let it known last Friday that he wasn't going to be here this week. So that's just like me going out and play a football game, Charles. And I'm going out with one quarterback without a backup. You have to have a backup plan for this. You have to have a solution. I don't make excuses for this football team, Charles. I try to find a solution for it. I try to find help. And somebody got to get some help here now. This is very discouraging. And as a player, they understand. I mean, they can't function like this. This is a sport, and this is really bad. I mean, That's just the way I feel, Charles. And it hurt as a coach to try and tell the young men that they can't practice because they don't have this. You know, we've been through this. We've been through this several times, and something got to be done about this.
Well, we'll take a break right here. We'll be right back here on the Fred McNair Coaches Program. We'll be back.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
The Fred McNair radio program here on the Braves Sports Network. Charles Edmond here with Braves head football coach Fred McNair. So where does this, in terms of preparation, Coach, I mean, you got to deal with Mother Nature too, because this weather's coming in here, and it's going to be tough to get on the field, and then you have to get ready. So what do you do? What do you say to kind of keep the train on the rails here as you get ready to head to Mobile?
You know, the biggest thing, Charles, is a Monday practice is more of a get to know your opponent. We do a lot of special team stuff in shells. We run down the field and we make contact. And so anytime we're doing that kind of stuff on the football field, you have to have a certified trainer there on the field in the process of doing that. And, you know, we lose a day now because we didn't do that this morning. We met this morning as a team. We met individually and watched and put this game behind us, Northwestern game behind us. But this afternoon, we watched film on South Alabama, trying to get a game plan for them, not knowing what's going to happen in the morning as far as practice-wise. You know, preparation, it's a big contact sport. We got to go full pass tomorrow. And without having that, you can't do that. So right now, I'm in limbo of which way this thing going to go. I don't know. But like I said, you know, we're about to do something that's going to be something special. It's going to play a FBS team to make money for this university. And we don't have a full-time athletic trainer to help our guys get back to the playing field. So that's where we at. In preparation, Charles, you know, Tuesday is a very, very full day for us, and Wednesday is a full day, and Thursday, you know, it's another full day for us, and Friday we travel. But you eliminate days off of practice and preparation, and you just don't have that time to get ready for an opponent. And that's tough, especially doing the things that South Alabama's doing. Offensively and defensively, it's gonna take a full week to get ready for this game.
When you're playing a road game, and we know Fridays and sometimes Thursdays are travel days, and I've often wondered this, the way that you and your team get ready, which is the most important day of the week? Now, from what you were saying, Monday, and you all practice in the mornings, Monday seems to be the most important day, but typically, what is the most important day of the week for a road game, especially a big road game?
Well, actually, Monday is a big day for us. Actually, Charles, all of them is big for us, man, because we do a lot of things. But Tuesday, it's a mano deal. We live contact on Tuesdays and Wednesday, so we full force on Thursday. We kind of taper off a little bit. If we got a home game, we do Perfect Thursday, and the special team call out on Friday. We have a home game, but on Thursday we'll do Perfect Thursday, and Friday we'll get together and we'll travel. On Friday, going to South Alabama. So it's a process, and we have missed out on a big practice on Monday due to this. And you know, we got to make sure that we're able to practice tomorrow. You know, just not sure.
Well, Coach, the Twitter feed is burning up here. Just one map tweeted, "I love it, Coach. We're going to put this thing together. And we're going to do what we need to do." And we appreciate that coming in. TJ Mayfield tweets, how does it make you feel that we're able to outrush a Northwestern State team without having your starting center?
I mean, it is promising, and it's a lot of promising things when you're able to outrush a team like Northwestern that can run the football very well. And that says a lot about what our defense can do as well, Charles. It stopped the run. And I think Coach Thornton and staff did a good job of hovering Scoot Adams up. So he couldn't scoot that many yards out.
Yeah.
So that was a good job. But let me just say this, Charles. This is not about Coach McNair. This is not about Coach McNair. It's about the young men's and the young women's that deserve every opportunity to be successful, not only in the classroom, athletic-wise. They deserve this. And, when you can't compete in a sport the way you need to because of your injury and can't get back to it, that's a problem. It's discouraging. This is not about me. I mean, I can care less, but I'm thinking about the young men and women that goes out and compete each and every day to make these programs the best they can be, and we don't give them what they need to be successful. That's what it's about. It's nothing about me. It's nothing personal about me at all. I like every sport. I'm a basketball fanatic. I'm at every home game watching right there on the first floor. I'm there because I love it. I'm at softball games. I went to a tennis match. I'm at volleyball games. So it's not about Coach McNair. It's about the young men and women that play these sports that deserve everything that they need to be successful, Charles.
And they definitely were successful. And the home winning streak, I posted something on Twitter. We're in the top, I think in the top 10 in terms of home winning streaks in the FCS. So protecting our house, that's something that the Braves were able to do in beating Northwestern State. And to that point, Joshua R. Davis tweets, Coach, I like the home winning streak. I like the fact that you're putting emphasis on protecting the house. Continued success, Coach McNair.
We got 2 more shots at it this year. Well, actually 3.
Yeah. From the game, Coach, Go Braves tweets, talk about the emergence of safety Kieron Kinsler. He had a pick. Out there the other day. Talk a little bit about that.
I tell you, this is a quiet assassin, Charles. He's a quiet assassin, man. I made him a special team captain this past week, and he got up in pregame, and he said his little freaky as a pregame meal. So I said, I told him, I said, man, you gave me a paragraph. I said, wasn't expecting that out of him. If you know this young man, Charles, he's very quiet on the football field. I mean, but he take care of his business. At the end of the game, we had to stop him on 4th down and won. It was he and I forgot, the defensive end came up and he come flying down. All I see is a flash. and I'm telling you, this guy, he's a thumper, Charles.
Yeah.
He's a thumper. He's a great player too, Charles. A great manner guy. Yes, sir, no, sir. And this guy here, he's a baller.
We appreciate that tweet coming in. Coach, from the injury front, of course, we didn't have Stafford Anderson. What's his status going forward?
Well, the biggest thing is getting these guys some treatment and getting them some rehab, man. That's the biggest thing we're missing out, Charles. We to get these guys back to the playing surface at enough time to be able to do the things they're supposed to do. And supposed to have an update on my email when I get back to the office from Fred Worley of the status of these young men. I know they got doctor's appointment coming up pretty soon to check and see when they return to play, whether they be cleared to play or not this coming week. But he's going to be a dynamic back for us, Charles. And all these guys that's injured, just if we can get those guys back to the playing surface at amp time before the conference starts in another week, in 2 weeks, Charles, I think it's going to be big for us. But, just to get those guys the proper amount of treatment and the rehab stuff that we need to get done to them, that's going to be very vital for this football program.
We saw Jonathan Bolton the other day, and he had some nice runs. But then I've been asked about Austin Bolton. What is his status?
Well, Austin right now, he's out right now, and with some other issues. He's dealing with some things, some personal issues, and one of the things they deal with may have a concussion. Mom, they came and visited me and just talked to him about him and his status of a concussion. I talked to her earlier, and so I told her to get with Fred Worley and see what the protocol would be. But I think she's taking him to his own doctor back at home to get him looked at. So, but he's going to be a great runner for us too, Charles. Once he get back in the swing of thing, man. And these are great kids, man. They very manageable. They don't say too much, and the quiet ones, they very good in the classroom, and does everything the right way. So we're looking forward to getting him back to the playing surface as well.
Coming out of the Central game, and I know we didn't have a show the last couple of weeks leading into that, and even last week, we were pretty banged up coming out of Atlanta, weren't we?
We was, Charles, and due to that, and I told the coaches I'd never seen so many guys land on the ground during the course of a game like we did in the interior front, whether it's offense and defense on both sides. Everybody was just laying on the ground. And sometimes when you get tired and fatigued, you tend to fall and fall on each other a lot of time, and that create injuries. But significantly, it wasn't no major stuff that went on, but just the meniscus and lip cartilage damage. But other than that, I think we came out pretty good as far as injury-wise during the course of the game. But banged up, yes.
So the biggest question in football, the biggest improvement that you make in football is between game 1 and game 2. So we won game 2. We beat Northwestern State. So break it down for us a little bit. The biggest improvements that you saw from North Carolina Central to Northwestern State.
And I would say the special team play, Charles. We didn't give up a special team touchdown, and Coach Powell's been doing a great job of getting that special team stuff the right way, and we did a phenomenal job. And only if the guys do what they're supposed to do. That long run they had on the kickoff, ball placement was one, and then we outside the lane was another deal. So just those things that happened in that course of the game, but we didn't give up a touchdown. And that was a big improvement from game 1 to game 2. And also, too, the defense was stingy on the rush. They were very stingy on the rush, and they played a exceptional well game, quarterback sacks and hits, man. It was phenomenal just to watch those guys fly around and make plays. And offensively, we just kind of continue to harp on finishing drives. We got to continue to harp on finishing drives, and I think Coach Ratton and his staff will do a good job doing that, making sure that we get in the red zone and we finish it. Finish the drive in the red zone.
So our punt and kickoff coverage is improved there. What about punt and kickoff returns, Coach? You've got Nico Duffy back there. You've got Manny Jones back there. You satisfied with the yards that we're getting on punt and kickoff returns?
Yes, I am, Charles. Anytime that we can start at the 25 is good. A lot of times, without the fair catch, on kickoffs now, you get the ball at the 25-yard line, and you can spot it on whatever hash you want it on. So, anytime you're doing that and not being bagged up inside the 20 or the 15 on kickoffs, you're doing good. If you're on the 25, I mean, we got 75 yards to go to pay dirt. Punt return, Manny's doing not a great job, but some of the balls that could have been caught, fair catch, he let them drop. We got to correct that. He know that, Charles. And especially one of them, when he went out there, I talked to him before he went out there. I said, if it's short, just come up and fair catch, but he let it hit, and it went inside the 10. So stuff like that is very correctable. And Manning, if anybody knows best, Manning knows best that he got to make those catches in there.
I believe I know Paul Johnson's probably. Is Paul Johnson still on hold? I know we've had him on hold for a while trying to play catch up. Is Paul there?
He's still here.
Okay, Paul. Paul was patiently waiting. We really appreciate it. We're trying to play catch up here on a lot of different things. The last couple of weeks didn't have a show, so we appreciate you holding on. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
How you doing, Charles? Hey, Coach.
Hey, what's going on, Paul?
Man, congratulations to you, your staff, and your team on that victory this weekend. You made us all proud.
I tell you what, I couldn't be no proud of the young men, Charles, the way they fought, man, and they didn't give up and they kept fighting. Bend but don't break rule, and they didn't break. So we come out with that victory, and it was a good victory for us.
I did have a question, but you answered it a bit earlier. My phone has been lit up today from parents of players and alumni associated with the medical training.
I can understand that. I mean, it's been barbaric for me today too.
And it was my plan to come on tonight to pose that question, but you addressed it. But but the comment I have is you just need to know you have our full support.
And I appreciate that, Charles. I mean, Paul, I really appreciate that, man.
So just know that. And from the alumni that I know, we got your back.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Paul. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles.
Thank you for holding on so long, getting that in. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to turn our attention to USA, South Alabama, the Jaguars, as we play in Mobile Saturday at 7 o'clock. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
You don't fight fair, so we'll just fight harder.
We didn't come here to play around.
You're going down.
Honestly, I hate you.
I'm stronger than you.
I'm more determined than you.
We're going to beat you, cancer.
Because the American Cancer Society
is on our team.
And together, we're unstoppable.
My name is John Calipari.
I'm Roy Williams.
I'm Jim Boeheim.
I'm Tubby Smith.
And I'm a coach versus cancer.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
South Alabama, they're 2-0. They beat USM 31-7, and they won 22-19 at the buzzer at Bowling Green. So, Fred McNair, we're going to be looking at Jake Bentley, Utah transfer, 526 yards, couple of touchdowns, and a pick. Let's start with the offense. And Jake Bentley, what do we expect?
I tell you what, Charles, he's going to sling it all over the field, for one. You know, he's a big, tall quarterback, and kind of remind you of the quarterback from Alabama A&M.
Glass?
Glass.
No.
He going to stand right there and sling it, Charles. And also, too, he got two good receivers that he's going to throw to, Lacey and Tobert. Those guys got a big, tall guy. You got a 5'10" guy that's going to be the speed guy in Lacey. And Tobert, a big 6'3", 190-pound receiver that's going to cause a threat. But the speed guy, Lacey, Coach say use him in a lot of motion stuff, but they like to go to number 8. I think that the running back situations with Avery and Walker there, you know, they're going to rush the ball. Both of them have at least 30 attempts a game, 30 attempts in 2 games. So, but Avery's the man, number 25.
And so their running attack, they had 33 yards rushing in the first half in their game against Bowling Green, 72 yards per game rushing. So they don't particularly have an effective running attack. But you talked about it, they sling it all over the yard. And then defensively, Coach, they play a 4-2-5. We hear about 3-4. We hear about 4-3. Explain to folks what a 4-2-5 is and the challenge in trying to attack it.
Well, Charles, the biggest thing is it opposes a lot of attention to your offense, and the things that you can do is very limited. But you know, just watching film on them today, you know, they got some guys that can make some plays. They got the leading tackle in Trey Young, number 4, also number 15 Banks. Those guys, they oppose the threats to us and tacklers. But you know, we got to just make sure they're safeties. Safeties. But you know, they come down in the box and make a lot of plays for them. Up front, they kind of huge up front. And they got a number 48, the big old guy that and Johnson, Janaris Johnson,
6'2", 295 from Gulfport.
Yeah, he's a big kid, and but he's gonna be pretty good for him. But we just got to make sure that we're doing things offensively for the offensive line to open up gaps and be able to protect Felix on his passing plays. And I think we got some things, game plan was going to work pretty good. Just talking to Coach Radden and his staff earlier about some of the things that we can and cannot do against these people. So we're just going to battle it out and see how it works out and kind of find some things that we can do and could do very consistently on offense.
This team had 14 takeaways a year ago, 12 sacks a year ago. They have 7 sacks and 6 takeaways through the first 2 games. Ball security is definitely the key because they really want you to turn it over.
Yeah, they do, and I think USM threw it right to them a couple of times, right in their breadbasket. You know, just holding on to the ball for one. That created a lot of sacks too. They sacked Bowling Green a few times as well. So just the idea that we have a young man that can get the ball out to the right guys in the amount of time it's going to help us out a lot.
I want to ask you this about recruiting. I know a lot of folks talk about recruiting in the different areas of the state. The Gulf Coast region. Now, I know for USM losing to South Alabama, that was a big loss because those two are rivals, 85 miles apart. But that's a huge recruiting center down there. And I know USM gets a lot of kids from the coast, South Alabama, FBS. That's a huge deal, that particular game. But of course, you've got Florida A&M, and of course we get kids from the coast. Talk about the recruiting, the fertile recruiting ground down on the Gulf Coast from Tallahassee all the way over to Pascagoula, Gulfport, Mobile. How is that area in terms of recruiting?
It's good. Got a lot of good players down there, Charles. A lot of big schools down there. From the Panhandle on back, got a lot of big schools, especially on the coast. But everybody's picking and choosing out of those schools too as well. So what we do as a recruiting school here in the state of Mississippi, once we get out and get on the road and start recruiting, we bang Mississippi JUCOs very hard for about 4 days. We hit those JUCOs, all 14 JUCOs in the state of Mississippi. We hit them really hard. And then we come back and take a whole week. We stay in the state of Mississippi for a week, about a week and a half, and recruit the whole Mississippi before we even venture out into our recruiting areas. For Florida, Georgia, and Alabama, and all those places like that, Louisiana, Texas. Before we even leave, going to those designated areas, we hit Mississippi very hard, try to identify those young men that want to be at Alcorn first, and those young men that have the ability to play football and excel in the classroom as well.
Just wondering about how the coast is in terms of just that fertile recruiting ground. Well, Coach, as we turn our attention here, the schedule gets a little tighter. 2 games in 12 days. We got South Alabama on Saturday, and then our first game as a member of the SWAC's Western Division at UAPB on a Thursday night, nationally televised game. It's going to be interesting around here these next couple of weeks, 12 days, 11 days, whatever it is, to get guys healthy, get them back upright, get some productivity going, and get some wins. Especially this will be a good one too as we get ready to go to Pine Bluff next Thursday.
You're exactly right, Charles. When you talk about 2 games in 12 days, we play South Alabama at 7 o'clock on a Saturday. Then we have to travel back late after the game, getting back. You're talking about getting game plans together, getting the kids up and ready to practice on a Sunday, getting game plans together, and getting ready for Arkansas Pine Bluff game on a Thursday night, and leaving here on a Wednesday. So you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday you travel, and Thursday you play a game. So you don't have as much time for preparation as you normally do on the Saturday game. So on the Saturday game you normally get the kids on Sunday off. Then you come right back and start back up on Monday. But this is something different. The course of the week we'll have to practice on Sunday, and we'll have Friday off when we get back for that week. So just to understand the process of that and how it works in terms of the scheduling part of it. So we got a lot of work cut out for us, Charles. We got to be great at what we do as coaches, and it's going to be very vital that we be able to get the young men back that's hurt in a very amped time, the way we should get them back. So it's going to be crucial.
Speaking of trying to get guys back, Milburn, how would you assess the center play Saturday?
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve Carter and both Darius Smith did an outstanding job with a guy in front of them, a zero nose in front of them, and the way we didn't have any miscommunication on the snaps and things of that nature, but one when he snapped directly to Nico. That was the only one, and I think he did that because the previous play before he got into a pushing match with another defensive lineman, and that caused him to kind of lose focus on what he's supposed to do. But those guys did great just to access their game, the way they played. I think they did a very good job of maintaining that center position. Hopefully carry on through until Milburn come back.
Finally, Coach, we've seen some upsets in college football. We've seen some FCS teams like Jacksonville State beat Florida State. Has that been talked about? Quite a few of those in the first couple of weeks of the season here. Maybe we can be in that category and pulling off an upset.
And you're exactly right, Charles. And what we got to do is make sure we got a good game plan together and go into Mobile with a mindset of coming out with a win. And our expectation coming into this year was being able to be 3-0 when we go into the conference play. But we got a chance to be 2-1 going into conference play now. So hopefully, we get these guys together and rally them up and get ready to take a good brand of football, Alcorn brand of football, down to Mobile and try to come out with this victory.
We've seen in the SWAC, Bethune-Cookman gave UTEP a run for their money. So these things can and do happen. We played USM a few years ago, played them tough, and so it can happen. I think we got to start fast, and this whole concept of 83 scholarships versus 85 versus 63. Do you buy into that notion? I mean, it is a fact. I mean, at our level, the FCS, we get 63 scholarships. At the FBS, 85, and in these games, that depth kind of wears on you in the second half. Are you a believer in that?
They have like 22 more scholarships. They can pull out a pool, But I think once it all boils down to, Charles, it's the product that you put on the field. Each team can't put 11 guys on the field at one time, and then who's going to put the best 11 out there is what's going to matter. And hopefully, by the time Saturday comes, we'll have our good 11 against their good 11, and we'll go from there.
Coach, we appreciate it, and let's go get them.
Thank you, Charles. Go Braves.
That'll do it for the Fred McNair program here on this Monday night. This time next week, we'll recap the South Alabama game on a very short week. We're going to be looking at Doc Gamble's team in 10 days as we head to Pine Bluff. But we'll recap South Alabama and look ahead to UAPB. That'll do it for the Fred McNair program. I'm Charles Edmond. Glad you can join us here on the Braves Sports Network. We'll talk to you again, same time, same bat channel, next Monday night. So long.